Nelson Mandela's quotes encapsulate the spirit of resilience, wisdom, and commitment to justice that defined his remarkable life. As a leader in the anti-apartheid movement and South Africa's first black president, Mandela's words reflect his enduring pursuit of equality, reconciliation, and human rights. His quotes emphasize themes of forgiveness, unity, and the transformative power of education and leadership. Mandela's enduring legacy lies not only in his political achievements, but also in the universal principles embedded in his words, which continue to inspire individuals worldwide in their quest for a more just, inclusive, and compassionate world. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world. It always seems impossible until it's done. I am fundamentally an optimist. Whether that comes from nature or nurture, I cannot say. Part of being optimistic is keeping one's head pointed toward the sun, one's feet moving forward. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. A good head and a good heart are always a formidable combination. A brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. There is no passion to be found playing small and settling for a life that is less than the one you are capable of living. It is what we make out of what we have, not what we are given, that separates one person from another. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin or his background or his religion. People must learn to hate, and if they can learn to hate, they can be taught to love, for love comes more naturally to the human heart than its opposite. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. Do not judge me by my successes, judge me by how many times I fell down and got back up again. I dream of an Africa which is in peace with itself. It is in your hands to create a better world for all who live in it. Courageous people do not fear forgiving for the sake of peace. Money won't create success, the freedom to make it will. I detest racialism because I regard it as a barbaric thing, whether it comes from a black man or a white man. Real leaders must be ready to sacrifice all for the freedom of their people. There can be no keener revelation of a society's soul than the way in which it treats its children. To be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. It is not where you start, but how high you aim that matters for success. If you talk to a man in a language he understands, that goes to his head. If you talk to him in his language, that goes to his heart. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead. A good leader can engage in a debate frankly and thoroughly, knowing that at the end he and the other side must be closer and thus emerge stronger. You don't have that idea when you are arrogant, superficial, and uninformed. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. It always seems impossible until it's done. I am the master of my fate. I am the captain of my soul. May your choices reflect your hopes, not your fears. I stand here before you not as a prophet, but as a humble servant of you, the people. It is not our diversity that divides us. It is our inability to recognize, accept, and celebrate those differences. Freedom cannot be achieved unless women have been emancipated from all forms of oppression. Man's goodness is a flame that can be hidden but never extinguished. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. To deny people their human rights is to challenge their very humanity. I dream of the realization of the unity of Africa, whereby its leaders combine in their efforts to solve the problems of this continent. Sport has the power to change the world. It has the power to inspire. It has the power to unite people in a way that little else does. After climbing a great hill, one only finds that there are many more hills to climb. For to be free is not merely to cast off one's chains, but to live in a way that respects and enhances the freedom of others. No one is born hating another person because of the color of his skin, or his background, or his religion. The time is always right to do what is right. Our human compassion binds us the one to the other, not in pity or patronizingly, but as human beings who have learnt how to turn our common suffering into hope for the future. It is what we make out of what we have, not what we are given, that separates one person from another. Resentment is like drinking poison and then hoping it will kill your enemies. Difficulties break some men but make others. No axe is sharp enough to cut the soul of a sinner who keeps on trying, one armed with the hope that he will rise even in the end. These quotes reflect Nelson Mandela's wisdom, compassion, and enduring commitment to the principles of justice, equality, and reconciliation. His words continue to resonate and inspire people around the world.